Hello everyone, Mike here. So today I'm going to be filming my garden tour, and so I thought I'd start with all of my seedlings that I've got so far. So here I've got some geranium colorama, and as you can see, I'll just lift them up to the camera. They're doing really well. They're now, a few of them are just beginning to form their true leaves, so I'll be potting these up probably in the weekend, which I look forward to. And next here I've got some mixed cosmos. Currently only 3 have germinated. Hopefully we'll get a few more in a day or so, but that might be all we get. And here I have some aubergine seeds that I planted just the other day, and as you can see, quite a lot of them are germinating, which is surprising because I've never had much luck with them. I sowed them last year and I think I got one that germinated and then died straight away, so that's an improvement to last year. And then at the back I have roughly 100 moneymaker tomatoes. They're all coming up. So my plan is for all of these pretty much is to sell them. And then back here in the propagator are my mimosa pudica seeds, which I made a video on. Pretty much all of them that have germinated now have their true leaves. So for this tour I'm going to skip the patio because not much is going on there currently, and I don't think anything's changed since my last garden tour. But as you can see, the wildflower turf is doing amazing. So many of the daisies on it are flowering, and all of the plants on these have at least doubled in height since I put them in the greenhouse. So these are doing really well, and I'm really impressed with how well they're doing. So I just wanted to take a moment to show you these camellias. They are doing so well. Pretty much all of them are flowering currently, which is absolutely amazing. I have by now sold all of my larger camellias, but these smaller ones are doing amazing. So the Sweet Williams aren't doing as well as I'd like them to be. By this time I would expect them to be either already sold or beginning to try and start flowering. I know it's a bit early for them to flower, however I've had these way too long and they're still doing absolutely nothing. On the other hand, my phasalis are doing really well. So I pruned them back late last year, and as you can see, they are beginning to grow back now and actually doing very well. So I'm hoping I can get some fruit from them this year, but we'll just have to wait and see. Here are some geranium cuttings that I took. They're all doing really well, and to the right here I have some of my geranium plants that I grew last year. These are just a few that I didn't get to sell. So hopefully, as soon as they start flowering, I can try and sell them on, because, again, like many of the plants I have here currently, I've had them a little bit too long and haven't been able to sell them. So hopefully, these will be able to sell soon. In contrast to the geraniums, these pittosporum are getting so close to selling point. I just need to tidy them up a little bit, get rid of some of these burnt leaves, and as soon as they start growing, they're going to be ready to sell. Some like this obviously do need to be brought on, but the majority now, like this one, have got a lot of new growth coming. So once they've finished doing their bit of growing, hopefully they'll be a decent size, and then I can start selling them, because these are beginning to look quite nice. The same is true for these privet. I took about 100 cuttings of privet last year, and since they've rooted, they've done absolutely nothing. But now they are all starting to grow, which is really good, because, as I just stated, with the pittosporum, a lot of the plants I've got here are getting close to selling point, and I just need to try and move some of them on so I can get some fresh stock in. But these are doing really well. So as you all know, my garden does lack decoration, and it's more of a functional thing than a decorational thing. But a few weeks ago we had a tree cut down on the farm, and I was inspired by the old granite mushrooms to try and recreate my own, but out of wood. So these are what I came up with, and they don't really look like mushrooms, but they will at least make nice. So just an overview of my main outdoor plants. They're all doing really well. Most of the ones to the right hand side are wildflowers, and then I've got some herbs and things like that. So this is where some of my larger value plants are. So I've got some raspberry canes here, box hedging, strawberry plants, some salvia, some griselinia, and a few fuchsias and hebees, all of which doing very well, hoping I can sell the majority of them this year. But enough of my sale plants, now on to some of the vegetables that I'm growing. So these are all onions. I did have them in the greenhouse until very recently. I actually dug them up, which was risky, and transplanted them out here, but they've all done really well. And to be honest with you, I'm not concerned about them. I didn't think they'd make it, but they have turned around and now they're doing really well. So fingers crossed we'll have a few onions this year. So last month's tour, some of you may remember, I had the 2 onion roots that I took and managed to root. As you can see, they are now beginning to grow, which is amazing because I didn't think they would. And it looks soon like we'll have a few stalks from them. So fingers crossed, we will get something from them as well. My strawberry plants here aren't doing too well. I think it's because their compost is too alkaline. At the time, I just put them in multi-purpose, and then I later found out that you're supposed to give them more acidic soil. So I might transplant these either into ericaceous containers like these, or I'll just put them into the soil because the soil where I live is very acidic. So fingers crossed these will come back. So I made this herb pot 2 years ago when I started gardening, excuse the chickens in the background, and it's not doing too well now. The only thing that's really alive is this curry plant at the bottom here, and the oregano at the top. But I think everything else has died. So it's got one large spot at the top and then 4 smaller planting places around the sides. Please give me your suggestions, anything you think I could plant in them. I need a bit of inspiration for these. And here I have my broad beans and garlic. So the first time I grew broad beans, I didn't tie them up, and it was really difficult for me to harvest the fruit. So this year I've made sure to tie them up. The garlic, never grown them before, but they're relatively easy. So hopefully these will be doing okay. But the wind has battered them a little bit, so I will be keeping an eye on them. And over here, this is the final part of the tour, I have my leeks, which are now ready to harvest, and some onions, which I've just planted. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please hit the like and comment down below any suggestions for future videos or any feedback on anything I've been doing in the video.